Howdy, howdy, howdy. Here we are. We're back. I'm back. So we are very fancy today. We're streaming in many places on Facebook, into 2 Facebook groups on YouTube. It's very exciting. Beep. I have a smoke detector that keeps beeping, so pardon me for that. Couldn't figure out how to get to it. It's really up there. Couldn't find a ladder that would work. So, and I'm a bit clumsy, so I need to be careful. So there you go. We're really excited about this. The actors are coming on board, and we will be starting at 5:30 with their reading part, but I wanted to talk about live reading a little bit and just kind of what's going on with everything, because we got so much happening. And so, yeah, I just wanted to explain all of that. So this has been amazing. This pop-up group is going away at midnight tomorrow. We're debating about doing a, what do you think, doing a live at 11:30, kind of like New Year's, a little bit, just kind of, that's, it needs I know it needs a new battery. I know. I just, I can't reach it, and I couldn't find a ladder that would get me up there today. So I will. Thank you for that. I know that's what the deal is. So hello there again, twice in one day, what? And so tomorrow, so this group is closing, and this has been a really interesting experiment. So if you saw the live trainings last week, where we did 3 major trainings with PowerPoints and everything. And so I'm trying to think if I have that link. I think I do, hang on. Yes. So if you go here, for those of you that can get the link, and then if you go there, you can get a link to the handouts that we've done throughout the 2 weeks. Not sure that you can get that. It might just be for the Facebook groups, because we do have our own. For those of you that are watching us, there is a finished Facebook group that is only for people that are writers that have been so amazing. So yeah, so I'm not putting that there. Yes, I am. So sorry, I'm just like that. We have so many different things going on, and I'm a reader. I'm not an online person, so still figuring all that out. So there, you can get into there, and that will take you to a page that has handouts from what we've done in these trainings, and it also sends you to, there's a link in there where you can see the trainings from last week. So come into the group if you have questions. That's where we do Q&As and answer questions, and we'll do, hey, Mushy, your momentum. That's so awesome. So excited about that. I saw that today. Welcome. Howdy, Jessica. Nice to see you. So, hey, Doug, Fearless Partner is here. So, yeah. So last week we did some serious trainings, PowerPoint. We were very fancy. And we did training, so you can check those out. And then this week we're doing more kind of playing and some fun things to kind of back you up on the things that you should be doing as a writer to kind of help you, write your screenplay, get it finished, go in full force. Go, yeah, it's gonna be great. It'll help you in a lot of ways, I think. Yeah. So this morning we did a Q&A, and we did a couple Q&As over Monday morning. We did the last training kind of everything, next steps, other things that you can do, kind of what to do when your screenplay is finished, a little bit of that. And then we decided, so one of the other reasons that we, greetings, Cher, lovely to be here too. We decided to do this pop-up group. So we started this whole thing because Doug and I are readers, and I've read for many, many different types of production companies, big, huge production companies, smaller ones, independent films, friends. Like, I've been a reader for a really long time. Hey, Joy. Hey, everybody. So if you want, so I'm just gonna put some there. Hi, Elizabeth. We'll stick her on there so we can show your comments and show that you're here. If you have a question, we can put it up there for people to see. Sometimes I can't see your name, so sometimes it's like, hi, Facebook user. So if you just click on StreamYard.com, everyone can see, in case you have a question later, because we're going to bring actors on. We're going to do this live read, and then I cannot not play with this chair. Sit still. And then when the actors will do the live read, hey, Elaine, and if you have questions for them, you can ask them questions, or me, or whoever. So tomorrow we will be doing a behind, oh wait, so let me go back. So we decided when we became readers, when we were readers, we decided, you know what, no one teaches how to do this. So we kind of jumped in by basically doing the same thing that we did here. We started a Facebook group, see if there was an interest. There's 11,000 people in that Facebook group. So yeah, there's kind of an interest. So we thought, and then we built the screen reader program. We're training people how to be thoughtful, succinct, wonderful readers that really support writers, that really, really help producers. Hey, Liz, welcome. So excited to have you. And hey, Mickey, woohoo. We're done. Thoughts on Honey Boy? Forthcoming. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, we're looking forward to it too. I think it's going to be really fun. So, well, I'll let you know as the actors get here. So we put up this pop-up group thinking, okay, well, let's see if there's an interest in us helping people write and finish a screenplay, because we were kind of looking around out there, and there are a lot of books on how to write screenplays. There are several big Facebook groups on screenwriting. There are many panels. There are many festivals. There are a lot of places you can go to find out about reading. What we're not seeing is sort of the coaching. Yay, you are official, Nikki. I can see you. I think. Is coaching, like people that are really in it with you for the long haul. So we thought, well, how can we do that? So the last year we started this little mastermind only with people kind of in our group already, and we sort of reached out a little bit, but very little. And we didn't create a Facebook group. We just kind of talked to people within the screen reader program, that kind of thing. We got a small group going to see if they like it. It's been amazing. Right, Nikki? I'm trying to think of Elaine, like people that are here are in there already. And so we've had this amazing experience over especially the last 6 months. We sort of really started to figure it out. First 6 months, we were really kind of, cutting our teeth. And then we got some momentum going with the last 6 months. And so we've really been working on some screenplays, and we're seeing people finish their screenplays, which is exactly what we wanted. So then we thought, okay, well, let's see if there's we want to open this up at all. And so we did this pop-up group for a couple of reasons. One, to help you write your screenplay, to give you trainings so that, yeah, Joy's in there too. So amazing. You are not, Lisa, you are legit. So, yes, so amazing. Yay. So, it's just been such a supportive group, and being able to have people share pages, get in there. And so like Doug and I are in there telling you sort of the nuts and bolts and what to do and not do, because this whole thing is from the perspective from the fact that we are readers, right? So we are readers saying, hey, this is how, what will stop a screenplay from getting through a reader. So that's our whole perspective. So we come in and we coach the first and third Tuesday of every month, and we say, okay, here's some more. We do a training, like kind of like we do in here, where the training sort of changes. Sometimes it even is similar to the trainings we're doing in Gatekeepers, just kind of keep it all cohesive. Long time no see. We're getting to be best buds. We're the 3 best friends. I love that. We're really trying to, do these exercises. We did this really cool one on subtext, where we use a platform called Zoom. So we had the writers, we gave like Nikki, you did this. We did, Nikki and Joy, you did too, right? So we did a scenario where we gave 2 writers, okay, here's the scenario. And I talked a little bit about this in the next step video, but we gave a scenario and we had Steve, who I haven't seen here right now, but he's in our finished program, and we said, okay, so you are a man and you're picking up a call girl. And then we said to Nikki, right, you did that. So Nikki, you are the call girl. And then privately, so in Zoom, I can send private messages. So privately, I sent a message to Steve saying, that this young woman is your best friend's child. It's his daughter. And so you're trying to get her off the street. And then I said to Nikki, it's your first time. So then that was the secret that they each had. And then they just started writing the scene together. It was really interesting, right? And then I would coach them, and I would say to him, okay, get her in the car. And I would say to her, no matter what you do, don't get in the car. And so everyone in the class knew they had a secret, but they didn't know what the secret was. And just intuitively, oh, there's Steve, yeah. So just intuitively, people started guessing what was going on, right? And that was the whole point. Like Nikki says, this is such a good comment. So Nikki says it made subtext so tangible, right? So we were like, I'm giving them the subtext. Her subtext is, I'm not getting in that car. But she's saying things like, maybe we could go for a walk. Maybe, she's like coming up clearly in the scene. So everyone in the scene that was watching, they were like, okay, there's something going on here beyond what we're seeing, because I'm giving them the subtext. And it was just a really great exercise for them to practice subtext, see how it works. And then, so the next time we did it, we had we had Joy was playing a daughter, and we had Sally, who I don't see her tonight, but she was playing a mom, and the mom's trying to get the daughter to go on a trip, and the mom wants to tell the daughter that she's divorcing her daughter's dad, and the daughter just found out she's pregnant. So now we were actively saying, okay, guess the secret. So I would watch, and then I would give them, again, get angry, because they were being so polite that I was like, okay, you need to get angry. This is your daughter. So I was like directing them, and then saying, oh, so-and-so would take, and I'd be like, nope. Yep. Nope. To the people that were guessing of what the secret was. Really cool. So that's the kind of thing that we want to do with you within this mastermind that we decided to continue with. So that's the kind of fun we've been having. We have such a nice intimate group. We weren't sure if it was something that we really wanted to open up. So that's why we tried the pop-up group. One, for our own selfish reasons, to see if it was something we wanted to continue. But also we thought, you know what, a pop-up Facebook group for writing would be really good, because it will give you, like, we've been doing some pretty good trainings to sort of give you a shot in the arm. So whether you join us or not, we wanted to give you enough tools that then you could go off and you could start writing your screenplay. We think you will get your screenplay done. It'll be a screenplay that a reader will love. It'll be like, more epic if you do it with us. So that's kind of where we're at. So tomorrow, we're actually at this time tomorrow at 5 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to do our next finished session with our new writers that are coming in there, as well as people that are already in there. And we're going to give you a little behind the scenes. So we will stream it live. We'll be in Zoom, but we'll stream it into the Facebook group from Zoom, and we'll just do our regular class, and you can just be a sort of fly on the wall and see what it's like. And Nikki has been brave and has volunteered because she feels stuck in her second act. So she's going to do a hot seat. So we're going to coach her through that hot seat and kind of give you an idea of what it's all like. And it'll just be, I have no idea what will happen. We're just throwing it out there, because that's the beautiful thing about, we try a lot of things. Like that exercise was like, that's cool. And then we had another one that wasn't quite as cool. Like we tried things, and some of them really worked. That one worked really well. Sometimes but they're always good, because the group is really great. And so the group is so supportive of each other. And let me just make sure my actors aren't trying to get in touch with me that they can't get in. Everybody's so supportive of each other, and it's been such an amazing group that we definitely, there's one, there they come, that we want you to, we just wanted to share it. So, sorry about that. Hang on one sec. Technical things. So let me bring. So so our actors are arriving. I'm so excited. So I might bring one of them on to interview her for a little bit, but that's the kind of thing that we do in the group. And so we've decided to open enrollment into it. And so we'll give you the link to check it out. We'll give that to you at the end, because I want you focused on this. So there is a link where you can check out the mastermind to see if it's something that you would like to do. And we just today, so many people emailed us asking, the investment to join the group is $297. Just tell you that right up there, because to me it's so cheap, because it's 6 months of coaching twice a week, as well as, everybody reading each other's pages, as well as a complete course. There's a course that we just tossed in as well. So bring on the hot seat, says Nikki. So good. So the course is basically, a screenwriting course from start to finish. The first phase is talking about, genres, and figuring out if you don't know what you want to write about, where can you find stories and all of that. And then we have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and then we have a section on rewriting. Just, pretty straight ahead, a course that you can do on your own, and then you can bring your questions to the sessions that we do. And then inside, we use a platform called Thinkific. Inside of there is a discussion area. So it's not public. It's always just, what happens in finished stays in finished. Everybody signs a non-disclosure agreement saying that they won't share anything out of the group. I have not seen, right, guys? Like, it seems like absurd, right, to think of anyone trying to steal anyone's stuff, because everyone is so different. And someone even said, I got my own stuff to write. I don't want to steal your things. So, and that's really kind of the group mentality that we have. And it's so varied. There's some dramas. There's a lot of drama going on in there. On the page. It's all on the page. Yeah, I think you're going to love this community, Liz. It's just a really great, it's some of our favorite. And, in the screen reader community, those of you that are in screen reader, it's like, and even the gatekeeper, it's all been good. This has been so much fun. We're having so much fun getting this going. And so we decided to open it up to more people and just figure it out. So we'll give you a link at the end, and I have a page that lists everything so you can really, you know, make an informed decision. And then we had so many people that wanted to join that we added a payment plan so that you could break up those payments and just pay $67 a month for 6 months. So it's a little bit more in the long run if you do the payment plan, because it's a back end, it's a big hassle, to be honest. But we want to make sure that we make it so that as many people as possible can get in there within a limit. We do have a limited number of people that we're going to take. So we are closing it tomorrow at midnight. So if you think it's something that you want to do, check it out. So tomorrow at noon, I'm just going to do a straight ahead, kind of the last Q&A to get any other questions that you guys have about anything. I'll go through the Facebook group and I'll pull out all of the questions. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I see a few people are on YouTube, or if you're on the Facebook page, or we're streaming this into our finished Facebook group, into our Hollywood Gatekeepers Facebook group, onto our Hollywood Gatekeepers Facebook page, and onto our Hollywood Gatekeepers YouTube channel. Woo! So I will go through all of those platforms and pull out any questions that I see, because sometimes I miss them in this, especially if it says Facebook user, I have a little bit of a hard time. So I will go back into every group, and then we're also getting emailed. And so I will go back and look through emails, and I'll try to gather all the questions and make sure I don't miss any and answer them all tomorrow at noon. We'll do that then. So I can see my actress coming on. She's not there anymore. I see there. It's like a little behind the scenes. She's making faces at me, and I make faces at her, and you see them. So that's not fair. So does anybody have any questions about any of this so far? I mean, that's basically everything in a nutshell. It's getting easier to explain. At first it was like, how do we explain this exactly? It's always that way though. And so today at noon, we did a thing about what is a live read and why should you do that? And there was a handout. Here, let me give you the link to that again. So here's the link to the handout. I have two screens because I'm fancy. I'm so fancy. So there's the link to the handout about a live read. So you can, a live read is such a great tool. And I highly, highly recommend, if you've got a screenplay, to use this tool. It's really, hearing your work out loud, there's really nothing like it. It really brings it home. It really makes you see, let me go ahead and put the link so you guys can see it. It really can make you hear your work. It makes you see what's happening. It's really, it's such an amazing tool. And you should be reading your screenplay out loud on your own anyway. You should definitely do that. And then, but hearing, and you'll see, so it depends on where you are, maybe with the link to the handout, but I'm sure, oh, I forgot to look at your YouTube channel now. I'm going to say your name and I'm going to mess it up. I will get this, I promise. I will look and I will figure it out. So just because it's in a bunch of different places, but it should be up on the screen. You should be able to see it. So it's basically hollywoodgatekeepers.net/finished directory. It's in the Facebook group as well. And we'll make sure to post it again just as its own post so you guys can get to it, because it has all of the handouts and links to all of the videos and everything in there. So that way you can see it. And then a few people like you get the log lines that we gave away. So Doug, he created those. They're super cool. So we'll get those too as well. So also you can use a live read. You can't see in the Facebook group, you can't see the link. So that's because I posted it. So Doug, if you post it, then they'll be able to see it, the directory link. So the other reason to use a live read is that you can use it to promote your screenplay. Once you feel like, hi Facebook user, once you feel like this screenplay is good and you feel like you want to start getting it out there. Let me just double check to make sure, because we're not supposed to be here till 5:30. So I think we're good. So I'm going to turn off my email since I just was making sure the actors could get in touch with me. It's a really great way to promote your work and to let people see it. You can make a party out of it, right? And we do live reads. Jessica and I are in a theater. Actually, all of us have been in this theater one time or another. And that's how we all met. And so all the actors you're going to see tonight. And so thank you. Thank you for posting that. Perfect. Sometimes with me, it blocks me from the back end. So now you might be able to see it as other people post it. So anyone who has the link, go ahead and post it because you're in different places. So when you do a live read, if you make a party out of it and you do it at a rec center, or you can do it in a theater, or you can do it, depending on if you have a budget or not, you want to rent someplace, you can do it. You can make it really fancy, and you can make people up on a stage, and they have music stands, and they put their script up there. I've seen them in libraries where people stand. I've seen them in bookstores, and people stand in front of an audience and do it. There's so many ways that you can do this. This is an online version of it, which you could also do. And then you can have the link, and you just let everybody, just exactly what we did here. We are demonstrating what you can do with your screenplay, and you can let all these people come in and know about it. And then when you're done, if you're streaming it like this, anywhere you do it, you should absolutely stream it as well. Just make sure that you're not too far away and that you have good sound. Those are the two things you want to make sure of if you're going to live stream at a live event. I saw a concert of a friend of mine, and it was like so far away, all I could hear of the concert were the people that were behind the camera talking. It was like, wait a minute. And so, you want to make sure that you have a good shot, and you've got, we can hear, and all of that. And then, but then after you do that, you've got the link. Then you have it, right? And so many people might want to listen to it as opposed to come to a live read or even read it. So then you've got this, you can turn it into an MP4 file, you can put it on iTunes, you can put it on SoundCloud, right? There's so many ways now that there's just no excuse for people that say that they can't get their work read. You can get your work read. It's up to you. There's so many ways, and we talk about this a lot, responsibility of how falls on you. We're giving you all kinds of tools of how you can do this and how you can do a live read and get your work out there and have this. You can do a live read of all of your screenplays or versions of one screenplay, and you can put it on your website, and you can say, here it is. And you can have people, if you're worried that people are going to steal it, you can make it password protected. There's so many ways. You can make them sign a release form before they watch it. There's so many ways that you can do it. You can store it in Amazon. Amazon is like 20 cents a month or something. Like, that's where we store a lot of our things. Dropbox is another way. I think Amazon has been a little bit easier for us to use. I'm not sure why, but we make it, you can put it on YouTube. You can create a YouTube channel of your work. You can create a YouTube channel of your live reads of your work. I mean, it's like, you can create your own persona as a writer. You can have your own social media where you're driving people to your website or driving people to your YouTube channel. We have a ton of resources that we can give you in terms of, we've started this online business. So this is our wheelhouse. I even say I have to learn not to be a reader anymore, but be a CEO of an online business, because that's what we have now. And we have all of the tools of how to get that started. It's one of the things that actually we are doing finished, which this is finished, and we are helping you finish your screenplay. And then once you're done with your screenplay, if you want to go into momentum, we are starting that as well. And that is how to produce it yourself, how to do, how to get it out there, how to do social media. We are following producers, including Jessica, who will be reading here tonight. We are following producers. We are following Sean Riley, who's one of our screen readers, as she produces her movie. We have a movie. That's another thing I didn't even mention in Finished, is that Doug and I have been commissioned to write a screenplay. Well, we found a screenplay within the screen reader program. Our readers cover writers' works that are in the program. And so one of our readers, Peggy, covered one of our writers, Mickey. They're both screen readers, but she covered his script. And she said there's a hidden gem in here that you need to look for, which is something that we teach our readers to do. They find something that's unique, even if the screenplay needs some work. That's super, super important. And so we read her coverage, and we talked to each other, and we were like, So now we are rewriting that script. It's slated for production, and we'd like to start pre-production next year. Jessica, who's reading tonight, is going to be a producer on that. Volunteering her right in front of you. So we're following her tomorrow. We are interviewing Monica Lawson and her producing partner. And so we're just, momentum will be following all of that through, as well as, the whole contest route. Pitch Fest, a whole nother world out there. Stage 32 is awesome with the amount of opportunity that they give people for pitch festing and pitching to people and meeting people. Networking, both online and off. How do you produce? How do you promote? How do you approach a producer? What do you say, not say? All of that. So we cover all of that. So we got a lot going on, and we're super excited. So I think I might take. I think I might bring Jess on for a little bit so that she can tell you a little bit about herself. I might as well introduce her, and she can tell you about herself and what she has going on. She's an amazing producer. She's been a producer on the award-winning show Intervention. She has Damon's Tiki Bar, and that's a web series. And the cool thing about Jessica is she's as you can see, television, and then a web series. And then I know Jess because we met as producers with Neo Ensemble Theater, and we worked together there. And so she's a producer there. She's also an actor there. She's also a writer. She writes her own things. She writes Damon's Tiki Bar, and then she produces a lot of independent films, both features and short films. She's just one of those people that gets things done. And I quoted her, she doesn't even know this, I quoted her in one of our trainings saying that she's like, I did it, period. You just get it done, period. Like there's no, it's not about, oh, I have to, it's about, yeah, you figure it out and you get it done. And so she's a huge inspiration with that. She's going to be reading tonight. And then the story of this play, I have a play called Random Women. I felt that there weren't enough roles for women. So I wrote an entire play of short plays. Like I wrote I just kept writing short plays for women, and then eventually compiled them together and did them as a play. Originally, when it was first produced, the premiere production was 6 random women and the voice of a man. And each play had the women and then a man's voice either came in through the intercom, or in one scene, he was banging at the door and he was outside, but you never actually saw him. It was always the voice of a man. So that was produced. And then within each short play, there were 2 or 3 monologues. So then I decided, well, you know what, this doesn't have to be, I was kind of promoting it as a play, and then realized, oh, this could actually just be a series of scenes for women. So yes, actually the whole thing, Random Women, pieces of Random Women have been performed at Neo, but the whole alternative repertory theater was the theater that premiered. This was before, yeah, it was before I knew Doug. Wow, that seems weird. Was there life before I knew Doug? So this was produced as a full-length play, and actually they commissioned me to write a beauty queen, a one act of a beauty queen piece that I have, where it's behind the scenes of what happens to the top. There's the top 10. What happens to the 5 women that are in the top 10 but don't make it to the top 5? What happens backstage? It's not pretty. So it's a total dark comedy, but they commissioned me to extend that into a one act. And so it was a version of that play. And so then I just went and published it. I published it as Random Women, book of plays and monologues for women. And within that, and then I write other things too. So this play that you'll see tonight is just a short play that's been done with me at Neo, and then at a couple other theaters have done this play around the world, around the work and mom Netflix. Okay, not sure what you mean, Cece. It's been done kind of in a lot of different theaters, but this is a short play with a couple and then a single woman, and she has a monologue within this play that you'll hear, and she does this monologue so well. I took the monologue out of this and put it into Random Women. So you can find this monologue both in this play and also in Random Women, and Jess does this monologue so well. We did a reading, like a live read, because I wanted to hear everything out loud. I'd only heard any of the pieces that had been done. I'd never heard it either. This version, the version that's published, I had never heard as a complete piece. I'd only heard the one where they commissioned me to change things and whatever. So I wanted to hear it all as one piece. So we did it, a live read of it, and Jess read several of the parts, and she just knocked it out of the park with the monologue that's from this play. And so we decided to take that monologue then and then create an entire screenplay off of that character. So then we went and wrote a screenplay that we actually, characters named the same and everything, so that, and that works really well. That was really fun. So Jess has stepped away. So every time I say that, so let me bring, Jess, can you hear me? Let's see. Can you hear me? So yeah, she can hear me. So I'm going to bring her on and introduce her. And then I see that Keegan and Anthony are arriving. So she just knocked this monologue so hard out of the park, and that we ended up writing this screenplay. So I really highly recommend that. If you don't have a character that's working, or it was working, we just took it, but you can always shelve your characters and use them otherwise. So let me bring Jess on. Wait, hang on. And then when she comes back, and then Keegan and Anthony are here, and they're going, they're here. Hi guys, can you see me? They can see me. Let me know that you can see and hear me, and then we'll pop them on. And then we had David St. James was going to be the narrator, but he went and got cast on Jimmy Kimmel tonight. So we all need to watch Jimmy Kimmel and go boo. Just kidding. When David St. James comes on. So I'm just going to narrate myself because it's only a few sentences, and I didn't want to put that pressure on an actor to understand the tech and everything, just for the narrating part. And he was so gracious to agree to do it, because narrating is not the sexy part. So I'll be the narrator this evening. And so let me bring them on and they can say hello. There's Jess. Hi, Jess.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay. How are you? Yes, I can hear you. So thanks for doing this. Super excited. So I think since everybody's here, let's go ahead and get started, and then we'll we'll talk about things that you guys are working on. And then let me get this going in a better way here.
Hey guys.
So
hello.
I don't want me all big though. Wait, hang on. Maybe there's a better way. There we go. It's a little better. So we have Jessica Mathews. Say hi. Wave so we know.
Hi.
And, we have Anthony Marquez and Keegan Winfield. So the big news though is that we have to say that Anthony and Keegan are getting married soon.
Oh, we are. That we are.
Did you guys meet at NEO, or you brought her into NEO, right?
He brought me into NEO. We met at a different theater company.
Yeah.
See, it's love on and off.
Theater, bringing people together.
I know, it is. That's what it's about. So we're just going to dive in. Everybody's saying congrats and welcome. And I'm not sure if you guys can't see the chat, or can you see the chat?
Oh, yeah.
We can, yeah.
Oh, good. So, so we've got people on tonight, and then we will be continuing to play this in the group so people can see it. So thank you so much for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. It's going to be fun.
So, thank you.
Anybody have any questions before we get started? Where's my script? That's my question. Okay. I got it. I'm with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and we'll just read through it, and then we'll answer any questions that you guys might have. Cool? Okay. All right. So this is HUES by Carolyn Carpenter. The setting is a park bench. At Rise, Bruce sits alone. He stares. Jill arrives, fiddles with her keys. He eyes her for a long, silent moment.
The construction is still going by the deli. I wanted to be sure you knew in case. I'm sorry.
For what? What are you sorry for?
I don't know.
Please don't.
He makes room for her.
Please don't apologize for nothing.
Okay, I won't. I'm sorry.
She notices his briefcase has tipped over. She gently places it on the bench.
I can pick up the boys today.
Oh, okay. I'll be home early.
Good.
Good?
Yeah, good. Really.
I made a therapy appointment for Thursday at noon. You don't have to go. I'm just telling you that's where I'll be. You know the place.
I don't know what you're expecting to find.
Nothing. I'm not expecting anything. Well, that's not true. I'm expecting, I don't know, something.
He fixes the lapel on her jacket. When they touch each other, it's with a great sense of care, but neither of them notice they are accustomed to caring for one another.
Look, I asked you to meet me. I just think maybe...
Bruce Levine? Oh my God, Bruce Levine. It's me, Cheryl Cotter from college. Please say you remember me. This is wild. I was just thinking about you the other day.
Cheryl Cotter. Wow. Hi.
It's been, I hate to admit this, it's been 9 years since we've seen each other. Well, 9 years in June. Hi, I'm Cheryl Cotter. It was Perry. Now it's back to Cotter, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry. This is my wife, Jill. Cheryl Cotter. Sorry about the name change business.
Oh, well, divorced, single mom. Look at me. I'm a statistic.
Oh, you have children.
A daughter, Danielle. Can you believe it? You?
2 boys. 2 boys.
How sweet, brothers.
Do you live in the city?
What? Oh, yeah. Transplant. Get this. I'm a lawyer. I like it. It suits me. My ex says that's because I talk too much, but I think conversational savvy is a plus in law. Wow. Bruce Levine. I could cry, but I won't. Well, I'm meeting. I better, gosh, good seeing you both. Maybe I'll see you around before the next decade.
Yeah. Good luck with everything.
It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too.
Yeah, take good care of him, okay? He's a keeper.
Thanks. I will.
Bye. Bye.
I dated her?
You were young.
I forgot to give you my card. Maybe we could...
Oh, yeah, we'd love to meet Danielle.
Oh, yes. The kids. They should meet. Well, okay. Take care.
I don't want to meet Danielle.
Be nice.
She does talk too much.
Yeah, she has a certain charm.
She's not my type.
Oh, really? Well, what is your type?
Suddenly he looks at her with a deep pit of emotion, of pain, of hope, of history. Cheryl returns.
Me again. I know. I don't know when to quit. I know I said I just thought of you the other day. That's true. But that's because I think of you every day. Don't worry, Jill. I'm not here to make a play for your husband. I just had to say something. It's going to seem bizarre, and I hope you can handle it. I'm sure you can. I mean, look at you two. You're practically one person. And I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but I have to get this off my chest right now. Bruce Levine, you are the most amazing lover on the face of the planet. Or you were. Never before or since have I felt the sort of wonderment that you brought to sex. But not just to sex, to love. You used to look at me, really look at me, through me. And the way you would study my body as if it were a classic painting or a hot slice of New York pizza. You savored me. You protected me. You dove into me, sacrificing every ounce of your soul. Maybe time has colored my memory, but I constantly see you standing over me. And I close my eyes, and floods of gold and silver and purple and turquoise and blue and green and red and gold and silver and peach all swirl around in my mind, land on my tongue, drip down my throat, and envelop my heart. I see you as a mass of color invading my pores, filling my pores, pulsing through my veins. I am a failure at love. I can't seem to forget myself long enough to notice someone else. And I can't shut up, ever. Silence kills me. You can tear up my card. I don't want to see you again. You've become a fantasy, and I don't want to lose the colors. Well, I'm going to leave now before you call the police. Wow, that felt really good. Thanks. Have a great life.
She exits. Bruce and Jill stare after her. Then they realize they're holding hands.
Have you eaten? Let's go home. Make some pizza.
New York style?
They gaze intently into each other's eyes as the lights fade. End of play. There you go. You guys are crazy. So there you have it. There it is. Sharp play. So I don't know who wrote Every Woman I Ever Slept With. That's awesome. You guys are great. She must be. She's nuts. It's not typecasting, really. So yeah, thanks for doing that. It's really
Nothing saves a marriage like seeing what is out there. That's true.
So good. So nothing saves a marriage like seeing what is out there. Yeah, exactly. That's such a great comment, right? So absolutely, guys, it's amazing performance, all of you. Like I just knew it would be. Be worried. She made me very worried about that one. So do you guys have any questions for them or for me? As you know, normally I don't like to do any part of the reading. Oh, the clapping hands, love it. I like to just sit, but because David wasn't able to be here, it just helped, just for me to step in. But that's what we're talking about when we talk about live read, right? And you can do this online. Like, look how it just wasn't that hard. We got together once beforehand, and they're professionals clearly. So we didn't even talk about anything about the play. We only talked about, can you hear me? That's all we really talked about. We talked a little bit about what the narrator will read or not read, but you can see they just kind of wait and you just kind of feel it out. Oh, see, look at that. Now we're getting into the writers. How old is the daughter and who's the real father?
There you go.
Yeah. It's not his daughter. It wasn't intended to be his daughter. If that's what you're implying. I think, and actually, you guys know Mark Levine. I actually wrote this play with Mark in mind. He's a playwright himself, and Anthony played it so spot on. Of like a guy I just always picture someone who's. Mark is a brilliant playwright, but he's a very shy man, and just someone who's very unassuming that you just would never in a million years think that a woman would come up to him and say these things about him. And it's just like, no, she was not high. No, she's not high. She's just snapped. Like the idea is that literally she's, and had this experience of having this relationship that at the time maybe didn't mean that much to her, but then later going back and being like, she's colored it, and it's kind of, that's why it's called HUES. And we talk about color so much is the idea is that how we color our memories of things, and we can look back on people even and color them. And she's just gone to such an extreme. She's obviously broken. She's in such an extreme place with a single mom, on her own, and just to run into him with a beautiful woman is just a little more than she can bear in this moment. A masterclass in awkwardness. Exactly. So do you guys have anything you want to add to that in terms of what you saw it, or Jess, how you felt, how you're approaching her as an actor?
Oh, she's super fun. I think as an actor, you always, you don't look at it as like flaws, right? So you just look at it as this is who this person is. And you take all of that in and just, work with it and have fun with who she is. So, she's definitely, she's up and down and all around. So it's a really great one. I love it. So thanks for asking me to do it. Yeah.
Jess brought the house down with this monologue, like when we did it just as a monologue with the live read, and then she's been doing it as just on its own as a monologue. And she's not who I pictured. Jess is obviously so beautiful and she would appear to be someone that would have it all together, which makes it so much better that she's such a wreck. That's what makes it. If I was picturing her very frazzled and kind of all over the place, like that she wears her dysfunction on her sleeve. But Jess comes in. It's so great when she introduces it. My name's Jessica Mathews, and I'll be doing Random Women. And it's so great. So Renee's asking me, how much did you know or study the character before you did the reading, and how did you prep for the read? So
I've done the monologue before. It's I was doing it for something where we had a time constraint. So some of these lines weren't in the version I've done. So I was trying to stay true to the script of how it is here. But yeah, I've done it the full length when we did the play reading. And then I've done the monologue, just a condensed version of it at a few of our events for Neo. So I think 4 times or so. Yeah.
You guys have never seen this. Have you seen this piece, you guys? You've never seen it.
I've only seen Jessica do the monologue. I've never, read the whole thing.
Not the piece, but just seeing the scene with the monologue now, the whole project, the whole piece, I appreciate it even more because it's not, Jessica killed at that monologue night.
Thanks, guys.
I was so happy I didn't have to follow her. It was such a good piece, and like the uncomfortableness and the awkwardness was just amazing to see and witness. But then like to have like a couple going through this crisis in their marriage or some kind of fork in the road, and then to have this awkward situation kind of stop that process and kind of let them examine their marriage or their relationship, and next to that kind of that old girlfriend or old relationship was just a really fresh way to look at it, and made me appreciate the writing even more.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. And I have to say, when we very first did this, there's a line in there where it was originally the woman says to her husband, "You dated her," and he says, "I was young." But after a live read, one of the comments was, "Maybe you should switch that. So much better, right?"
Oh yeah.
I dated her, and her to say, "You were young." Like, wow, what a huge difference that one little switch made, right? So
Oh, yeah.
she's defending him, which just makes all the difference. Like,
Yeah.
just a little, and that's why you guys need to do live reads, because it's that kind of thing that'll come out. So everyone wants to know, where are you guys from? Where are you from?
Florida originally.
I've been here for 9 years, so I feel like an Angelino at this point. But I came here from Missouri.
Nice.
Springfield, Missouri,
Springfield, Missouri.
Cincinnati, Ohio. Where are you from, Jess?
From Tampa Bay, Florida.
Tampa Bay.
And I've been out here for 15 years.
Yeah, me too. Around 15 years. Can everybody hear my Midwest accent? Do I still have it?
I don't hear it. And
I don't hear it.
At all.
Good.
Hear that from you at all. Were any of the pauses in the script? I thought they seemed so believable and appropriate. Yeah, they are. They are written in. Some of them are, some of them weren't. I think, right? Like that's a question I never paid attention to. But yeah, I did put them in and put things in to slow them down intentionally, because I wanted that excruciating kind of feeling, and just the idea of people that take care of each other even when they're mad at each other. And you see this in couples that have been together a long time. They'll be arguing while, tying each other's tie. Like, you see that kind of thing. And just wanted to make sure that got across. So Cindy wants to know what made you decide to become actors?
Well, God, I don't know. That's kind of a hard question, because I started acting when I was like 7 or 8. And I don't know. I've always loved performing. I did a lot of theater growing up. I love theater. I love film too, but my heart is in theater. And I don't know. It's something that at some point I think just becomes like a part of your DNA. It's something that you're compelled to do, that you have to do.
I think it chooses you. You don't really choose it. It chooses you. Even
Yeah.
get away from it, right? Which we all do at times. Like, I'm done with this. And it's like,
oh yeah. Everyone, about once a year at least, you're like, oh, I'm done. I don't want to act anymore. And then somebody's like, do you want to be in my film? And you're like, yes, I do, actually.
Until someone says that. I remember one year, I won't name any names, did this huge post about how I'm done, I'm finished, I'm done. And then they were at the next monologue night. I was like,
yeah.
what are you doing here?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was going to college for graphic design. I did plays in high school a little bit, but nothing too much. I was usually playing sports, but then I did an independent film, and I just loved it. And I started doing community theater in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I loved that. And it's just like, I just decided I told my parents, I'm not going to be a graphic designer. I'm going to go study film and theater. And no, you're not. You're going to get a degree, and you're going to be able to support yourself, and then you can go do that. So I did that. And then I moved out to LA shortly after college. And it's like you were saying, it's like a drug. It's like you have to do it. I got a taste of it, and I can't imagine my life without it.
Yeah. And they're both obviously so talented. And Neo Ensemble Theater is where we all met. We've all been active on and off in different ways through that. So it's a theater company that's been around, like, kind of amazingly so, since I want to say in the early 90s. It's been around. Kind of crazy. What about you, Jess? What was your dive in?
Well, I was similar to Anthony. I was a business and economics major, business administration. And then my last semester, I had all these econ courses and all this, all these businessy courses. And I thought, I'm going to take acting for non-majors as a fun class. And I did. And my professor was like, you're really good. You should audition around town and so I did. And I got roles at the university and around town and community theater and stuff. And then I was like, that was in Gainesville, University of Florida, go Gators. And then I'm a huge Gator fan. So, and then I was like, I'm going to move to Orlando and try acting. So I did that for a little bit. I lived there for like a year, and then I finally came out here. So, yeah.
Well, and that business degree has served you well. All of your economic for your producer chops. Absolutely. It serves you. So it's all good. Yeah. So Elaine, I'm not sure who you're talking to, Elaine. Someone looks familiar. So what are you guys working on? Like what are you doing? What's going on? Tell me. Anthony, what are you working on these days?
Right now I'm working on helping Keegan plan our wedding. And the only really exciting thing right now, besides the wedding stuff, is my McDonald's commercial just started airing. So that'll help us pay for that wedding.
It will. I am a podcaster, so I recently quit my office job to focus on acting and podcasting. So I'm auditioning as an actor as often as I can, but then I also produce a podcast called My Worst Date. It's a comedy podcast. So check it out. If you have bad date stories, if you want them,
send those stories.
So you can
What's that email?
Send us all your bad date stories at myworstdatepodcast@gmail.com.
myworstdatepodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. So, and we'll definitely also post if you have, let us know if you have like a link. Do you have a website to the podcast? We'll just do a post to the podcast in the group so people can.
Yeah. And it's myworstdatepodcast.com is our email. So yeah.
Pretty straight ahead. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. So, and then Jess, what are you doing right now other than producing our movie?
I just saw Go Knowles. Hilarious. It's awesome. Well, when we're out here, we're all friends. So yeah, but yeah, I'm working on a movie actually with an FSU grad. So there you go. She is a writer director from FSU, and she wrote a script called Under, and it's about two moms connecting moms from two totally different worlds who come together. And it's our website is theundermovie.com. So if you want to check it out.
On the podcast a couple of weeks ago, so check out the Hollywood Keepers podcast. She talks all about it there, all the links to that, to getting involved and knowing more about her movie are all on the podcast show notes as well. So this has been so great. I just love it so much. I mean, just don't want to leave. But you guys, does anybody else have any other questions for these esteemed, wonderful actors? And I just, keep an eye on them because obviously they're super talented and they're continuing to work. And then we'll put a headshot of David St. James. He's supposed to be the narrator. So let's all watch Jimmy Kimmel tonight and look for David St. James. I'll put his headshot.
Totally.
Yes. And thank you everyone for all the nice comments.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. So I'm going to stay on, but I'll go ahead and let you guys go because I know you got things to do. And Jess has a young child. She's a new mom. So that's super exciting.
So I had to run out. I was like, okay, real quick. But So
juggling.
She's almost done her time. So
yeah. Oh, good. And they're posting your podcast. Look at them. They're on it.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. Awesome, you guys. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. We'll talk soon.
Oh, I like that. We do both dislike the hurricanes. That's right.
Yeah, that's definitely.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks a lot.
So there you have it. That was a live read. That's how it works. So now you can see, right? It's super cool, right? They're professionals, so they jumped in and I forgot about his McDonald's commercial. You definitely have to check that out. But he does a lot of stage, and he's such a good. I don't even know how to put this. He's a really great straight man. His timing is impeccable. And then Keegan is beautiful. She she catered herself to this role. I've seen her do things a couple different ways, and she catered herself to this role of being a mom, being a wife. But I've also seen her step into roles where it's like she walks in the room and everybody's like, because she just has a presence about her that's just stunning. And then Jess, as you can see, is a massive talent, and that Jess is super brave too. Obviously, that's a super very difficult. You have to be brave to do that role, and that she takes it on so much and is like willing to do the like here, you know, it's so great. She just like jumped in there. So right, so you can see the dynamics of the script, and you can hear things that you, like the way that she does that monologue is just like. And the way that she, you know, that people are, what's up with her? Everyone had questions about her immediately. Is she high? Is she, what's going on with her? Like, and that's great. We don't need to know any of that in this particular play because it's just a short play. So we want people walking away like, and doing, I love that Steve's immediately doing the math. Could that be his son, like his daughter or whatever? You know, it's like immediately like, there's got to be a question there. And it wasn't written with any intent that there was more than her just donkey on the edge kind of thing. But everybody, oh, I love that you teared up. I don't know who that was because I can't, it says Facebook user. So super, oh, really great. You guys are so sweet. So it's just been really, yeah, I tear up every time I see her do it because I know the state I was in when I wrote that play too. And so it's just to see someone own it. So it's such a wild ride. Yeah, so the movie that we're doing with Mickey Yell's script, Jess has, we've been talking about having Jess come on as a producer. She's an amazing, amazing producer, and she's really good at creating low budget things and, you know, figuring out how to do things and do them well, even if it's a low budget film. So this was so cool. This is the first time that we've done a live read like this online because we really wanted to try it. So we really, that's our thing, is that we just want to, we're taking the leap, right? And you're going to follow us through in the mastermind Mickey scripts. Like, and sometimes they don't get produced, but we're going for it. And actually, I think he's still there actually. One of our producers on the project is out. He's overseas fundraising. And so he's raising money for it right now. It's not even done yet, and he's out there raising money, and that's how it's done. And definitely listen to the podcast. And also, we'd love it if you write reviews on the podcast. We're just getting it going, and share it and that kind of thing, and let us know if there's topics you'd like us to cover. We are covering independent filmmakers on the podcast as well. We talk about reading a lot, and we have our interview with screening I did with J.K. Simmons and Michelle Schumacher. And so you can see that on there. We had the Paul Haggis interview, which you can also see in the Facebook group, but and then we're interviewing both, you know, I do solo episodes. We're just talking about reading, but then we're interviewing producers. We're interviewing, you know, all kinds of people, our own screenreaders. Like we're using this as a tool to just show you kind of that it's possible and how to do it. And so would love to have you guys listen to it. And you'll hear a really great interview with Jess on that podcast. That's the whole play. It's just a short play. So we do with Neo Ensemble Theater, we do these evenings of short plays. We do a lot of that because when you do, and it's a whole nother topic, Will. I haven't seen Will in here for a little while, but we have a director who's in our group who's also from Neo, and he's a director. And we've talked about, you know, doing this kind of thing with Neo Ensemble Theater, but we do all of these. If you are a theater producer, we could do a whole nother course on theater producing because I've produced so many shows. I have produced a lot of shows. It's very common for me to start as an actor and end up producing. And I fought it for a really long time. And finally I was like, you know what, accept your gift you have from growing up in the theater. I'm able to see the bigger picture from watching my father and everything. And so it's like, because I finally just accepted it and started producing stuff on purpose. And so when you produce something, and if you want to produce a theater piece, doing it this way where you have a lot of writers doing little short pieces, then you can try a lot of different things. Plus then you can have a lot more actors, but they only have to commit to a tiny bit of time. So it makes it much easier to produce that kind of theater because it gives the actors, they can meet in their home and they can rehearse a little scene with 2 or 3 people. But then when you get it all together, you end up, and sometimes one actor will do more than one if they're able to, but sometimes they're not able to. So then they can just commit to their one little thing that they're able to do and work into their lives. And then you've got 30 actors or so doing all these small pieces. And then you have writers that are able to test their work. And if one doesn't quite work, that's okay because they're not that long, right? So we can sit through one that's a little bit like to get to the ones that are really good or whatever. You know, it makes it so that an evening will support actors that are just trying stuff out and learning and that kind of thing. As long as the evening has someone who's overseeing the whole cohesive piece, that's really understanding what we're going for as a whole, and can put pieces together in a way that makes a good through line. We also at NEO do airport encounters, which are a bunch of scenes set at an airport. So we've done that. We did the motel plays, which are a bunch of scenes set in a motel. And so it's one set that we can build and do a lot of different pieces. And the airport one was good because we could have people, you know, one person that was in one scene would cross through as a passenger into another, you know, someone else's scene. So it made it so it really flowed really well, but it means that each actor doesn't have to commit to so much. And then also all of those actors are going to invite more people to see the play, right? So that's a really good format. If you're ever thinking of doing any kind of theater, that's a very good format that works really, really well. What's the difference between a producer and the director? Well, it is a big subject. Kind of in a nutshell, directors, the visionary, producers are the nuts and bolts. I mean, that's really in a nutshell. The director is the one who has the vision of how it all comes together. The producers out there there's, you know, and we joke, Tommy, who's one of our producers, like the producer's out there raising money and then they're backstage sweeping the floor. Depending on, you know, what's going on, the producer is like, we had this interview in the screenreader group or in Gatekeepers, I think, with Eric Rasman, who was talking about how he was a producer and he got to the set and no one knew how to drive the truck. So he had to like learn how to drive the truck. So producers are the ones they just make it happen. They're the ones making sure that it happens. Ideally, the director, sometimes directors also produce, often, especially in theater, but ideally, the director is just the visionary. He's looking or she's looking at the vision of the piece, of how it all fits together, of the colors. They're working with the actors to get the performances right. They're doing rehearsals, that kind of thing. And so sometimes there can be headbutting between producers and directors, and which is one reason why directors like to produce, because it gives them more clout. Yes, it's a very glamorous job being a producer. Producers, but the great thing about producing, for people that love movies or love theater or love that thing and they're very organized, and like Jess has a business degree, which really, really helps. A lot of lawyers get into producing, a lot of people that work in business because they love it, but they might not necessarily be creatives. They might not creatives, they're super creative, don't get me wrong, because you have to be creative to be a producer, but it's a different kind of creativity. It's like an entrepreneurial spirit rather than the creativity of acting or creating, that kind of thing. They're like more of I go from point A to point B, whereas an actor and a director, they can be a little bit more fluid, but producers are usually like, oh, I need to get this done, here's what I'm gonna do. And so a lot of people who love movies who don't necessarily feel comfortable in that creative role can be involved and be really creative in what they do without having to have that pressure of creating in that way. It totally project by project, where the question is, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting I'm on different platforms. The producer hires the director, not the other way around. It's the case by case, totally case by case. A lot of the time, so in a production company, you've got, you know, so I worked for really big production companies, right? Village Roadshow, they are a massive production company. So you would have producers that all work at this production company. And then I was a reader reading the scripts that then would go to the producer. They're picking the project based on the script. And then they, you know, work with an agent, or sometimes it's packaged where an agent will come in and they'll have a director and an actor from one agency. They try to package things that way because you get a better deal. See what I mean? Like it's so case by case, right? So, but a producer will be like, we're going to do this project, okay? And they'll send it out, and then the reader, for the directors, will be reading it for their director to see if the director might want to do this project. Sometimes a producer will get a project that says this director is attached, meaning that they already know who's going to direct this piece before it comes to that producer, which can be, usually that's good, but not always. Sometimes they're like, oh, I don't work with that person or whatever. So it's really both. Oh, Nikki, you'd be such a good producer. You definitely have the brain of a producer. You're making a pitch this weekend. Is there a way to predetermine a producer to see they will be already interested in my screenplay and want to make it happen? Now that is a huge topic. And who is that? Let me know who you are. So if you have a pitch, you're designing the pitch. You don't mean that you actually have a meeting this weekend, right? You're saying that you're designing the pitch. Predetermine a producer to see that they will already be interested in a screenplay and want to make it happen. Absolutely. And you don't do a pitch without doing that. Absolutely. So if you have a pitch and you know that you want to pitch to people, you need to make sure that you're not pitching a romantic comedy to a horror film producer. It's pretty straight ahead. So that's the work that you need to do, is you need to only pitch that piece to the people that you think are appropriate for that piece. So I hope that makes sense. Oh, it's Charles. Okay. So I hope that makes sense, Charles. So thanks, Doug. So yeah, as you're designing your pitch, and I'm hoping your screenplay is done already. Unless pitching with no screenplay is sort of reserved for people that have established themselves as writers. In general, there's always an exception to every rule, but in general, people don't want to hear a pitch if you don't have the screenplay, unless they have a film. You have a film already. They can reference you. You have a meeting by phone this weekend. You have a meeting by phone this weekend, and you're designing the pitch of a screenplay you've already written, right? Tell me that's right. I'm hoping that's what you're saying, is that you have a screenplay written. You're talking to someone this weekend who might possibly produce it. So you know the producer, I'm assuming, ahead of time. So you're having that meeting because I'm assuming you already did the homework that knows that they're the right person. Although the fact that you asked is how you predetermine them makes me wonder if you know this producer very well. So this is the kind of coaching that we do in momentum. Actually, this is would be more momentum. And this is exactly what we're talking about, where, I mean, I would really dig into the weeds with you. Wait, so that's the idea, is that, wait, and it says Facebook user. Let me show you what it looks like. So it's really hard for me to know. That's the idea. Is that the same person that says that, or I might be wrong? I can't tell because they both say Facebook user. So you're doing this through stage 32. So doesn't the directors, aren't they like the boss? Are they like telling the actors where to go and do other things that the producer is kind of, so yeah, a producer doesn't, other than helping to find maybe a casting director, or sometimes a producer might be involved in casting. There's a great movie called Mistress where producers are saying, I'll only give you money if you cast this person, which actually that kind of thing happens, where they'll say, I'll give you money for it, for your movie, but you need to cast so-and-so. That's about it. It's the only hands-on that a producer has with an actor, other than if they think an actor is ruining the chances of that movie being made. So Johnny Depp talks about how he doesn't feel like he's really got the character until a producer comes on set and says he needs to stop doing that. Because he makes producers nervous because he's so creative, like they don't know what to do with him. And so he knows that the more out there, they say that every time with Jack Sparrow, that he's gone too far this time. He's really gone too far. And he's always like, good. The fact that I'm pushing him that way means I'm doing my job as an actor. So that's about it. They don't say you go here, you go. That's the director for sure. So she's interested in okay, so you've got a stage 32 pitch with a producer that says she's interested in the genre of your screenplay. Tell me that that's right. Yeah, so if you click on StreamYard link, the StreamYard.com, I'll be able to see what your name is. So Jessica's texting. She was so good. Yes, okay. So yeah, so if you already know that she likes your genre, but just that she says that, you've got her name, right? Why aren't you Googling her? Like this, why aren't you on IMDb seeing what other movies that she's doing? So you need to know that at the very, very least. And not only that, but you should be looking at who else has she worked with and what else has she done and who does she know? And maybe you know someone she knows. And there's I have done a whole thing on this. So it is know who you're talking to, I beg of you. And she will know in 2 seconds if you don't know that. And it is amazing to me how people don't do the legwork. And I've done pitch fests, taken pitches for people. And make sure your screenplay is ready. Your screenplay is ready, right? If she says, yes, can you send it to me today? You will say, yes, here's the link, right? You'll say, here's the PDF. I'll sign your non-disclosure, which will probably have you do. Start stalking. So if your screenplay is not done and you are not ready to go, here, don't do it. That's my humble opinion. Because your screenplay needs to be ready. There's nothing worse than, yay, there he is. Hi, Charles. So good, now I can talk to you a little more directly. So I know that it's you that's answering me, not someone else. Yeah, research her as much as you can, says Facebook user, and I know that's not Charles. So you see what I'm saying, Charles? I hope that makes sense, where it's you need to be ready, because so many times I would say, oh, that would be good because I was taking pitches as a reader because I was reading for so many different people. And then that way I could take a script and give it to even more than one person sometimes. And so 90% of the time, I'm not joking, it was a very small percentage of people that when I would follow up later and say, can you send me this? Well, it's not quite done. Let me do one more pass, blah, blah, blah. They weren't ready. And then it was like, okay. And then out of sight, out of mind, right? It's really hard. You got to be on it. Come on, Steve. Steve, no, but I saw Steve earlier. Our Steve? StreamYard.com, baby. And they're just making sure that they have permission to put your name up. They're not doing, as far as I know, I guess don't quote me on that, but it's just for that. They're not getting your info in any way. So it's just so that I can see who you are. And they don't want to do that without your permission, which I think is super cool. But yeah, so definitely know who you're talking to as deeply as you possibly can, and then be ready. And also, I'm hoping that you have more than one screenplay, because probably, and come back and let us know how it goes. Oh, we won't be here. Go into Hollywood Gatekeepers and let us know how it goes. Because she might ask, what else you have? Be ready for that question. What else do you have? That's a very common question. That's actually so much of a question that we're thinking of getting t-shirts made. What else you got? Because they want to know that you're writing. I think you've mentioned that you have more than one, if I'm not mistaken. So, cool. I hope this was beneficial. I thought it was, awesome. Obviously, they're my friends and they're amazing. And I get so warm and fuzzy because they're just, I'm actually writing something for Keegan and Anthony. I think they're just so nice. They're such nice people and they have so much integrity and the work they do is good. So good. The last pitch scored highly. So you know what you're doing. You don't even need me. I guess you have to prove for each group. Oh, sorry, Dad. That's Steve. Oh, so you're watching. That's so funny. That's kind of weird though, right? So I did, listen, you have many ideas. That's good. So keep writing them out. Just keep writing them and keep writing. There is a secret sauce we're going to share with you tomorrow at the very end. The secret thing that every single successful writer does this. We'll share it tomorrow. It's amazing. It's the last thing I'm going to leave you with tomorrow. Okay, so this has been great, you guys. Thank you so much. We'll be back at noon tomorrow. I'm going to go through and look at all your questions. I'm going to go look at homework for screen readers. And we will be back tomorrow at noon to answer your questions. And then 5 o'clock, we are having a finished session. So those of you that are new, you get to dive in. And then Nikki's volunteered because she's bananas. You switch groups. So you guys are all over. Yeah, so fast. It makes you wonder so much how actors would interpret your dialogue, right? Exactly. So maybe we start that and finished. Yay, you're ready to go, ready to finish. Awesome, love it, Renee. So happy to hear that. So yeah, it would be good for us to have some actors come in and maybe just read a page or two here and there. That would be cool, right? We should do that. And some of us are actors that are in there, Joy. There's a few of us that could just read and be actors. So definitely we should use that drama degree. Make it come in handy. So yeah, awesome, you guys. So we will see you at noon tomorrow. And then we will see you at 5 for our finished session. And then we have screen readers at 6 tomorrow. All right, you guys, we will see you then. This has been super cool. Thank you. Thanks. I'm excited.